Hi, my name is Jordan Wilkerson, and this video is for the Topic 7 Assignment Student and Community Advocate. The school that I chose and have been working with throughout this entire class is Dream City Christian School, which is based in the Phoenix area, Glendale-ish and Scottsdale. They have a campus there. So some of the issues that I feel like we're encountering are basically just staffing and interventionist/aide like in the school. We don't have enough. So what the issue is that they are spread really thin. They are meeting to do push-ins or pull-outs with students from as low as kindergarten all the way to 8th grade, and they're having to pull from so many different resources. They're having to work on a really wide range of skills and standards that they're trying to meet. So they don't have enough time to focus on one thing or one grade level because they're meeting with so many students across the board. So there is also an issue that we as teachers have been told to only be pulling in our small groups Tier 1 and Tier 2, and then the interventionists will work on Tier 3 because they need so much help. They're lacking a lot of academic things, so they need a lot of attention. So we were told that they need to be pulled by the interventionists. Well, since the interventionists are pulled so thin or spread so thin, they are not getting consistent. They're not meeting consistently, and the aides are being pulled, or the interventionists are being pulled to do other things around the school, like subbing when we need a sub, or doing other things like working lunch duty or working on the playground or whatever. So when they are pulled to do those other jobs or those other things around campus, they are missing out on the time that they're supposed to be doing push-ins or pull-outs with these students. So that is a really big issue. Another thing that we do have is that we have some formal ADHD, ADD diagnosis, some learning disabilities, but that set aside, if we had the staffing aides and interventionists, like I was saying, that doesn't really matter because these students would be getting the help that they need. So like I said, the solution I feel like that would help would be more staffing. And I understand that this is like a big issue across the country. Like most schools, most districts are struggling with staffing and subbing and things like that. But I really just feel like if each grade had their own aide, like one for kindergarten, one for first grade, one for second grade, one for third grade, and so on, then those one or two, depending on the size of the school, depending on the size of the grade. At Dream City, I feel like we could get by with one or two. So that way that aide can solely focus on the skills that the kindergartners or the first graders or third graders or whatever, they can solely focus on the skills that they are lacking or the standards that they are struggling with. So the aides are not thinking like, oh, I'm meeting with a kindergartner, right now, I'm meeting with the third grader next, and then I'm meeting with an 8th grader. So then they're having to pull from all these different resources, and they can't really focus on and give their all to one grade level. And I feel like if there was just one or two, then they could really hone in and really get really good at what they're doing and really help these students instead of being spread so thin. So I feel like that if we did have those, especially with the littles, like kindergarten, first and second, we could really catch those learning disabilities or any academic issues that they are dealing with early on. So when they get to 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade and they're expected to read properly or completely, and they're expected to be able to comprehend what they are reading alone by themselves or writing properly, that they are able to do that because we caught those learning disabilities early on. And then by catching them early, we can get them on a 504 if they need to, we can get them on an IEP if they need it, or whatever they need to do, we can help them if we catch it early. That's the biggest thing, is catching these things early. So if we had interventionists or aides that were consistently pulling these students out so we can catch these things, I feel like it would solve a lot of issues, and then it would just trickle down to the upper grades, all the way up to high school. So I feel like that if we were able to have this and meet these goals, that I would expect to see students, and I would expect to see them to start growing. And my goal would be to see 25 to 50% of growth, or 25 to 50% of students across the board, school-wide, meeting these academic goals or state standards that we have. The resources that I think we would need, obviously, like I said, we would need more staffing, more aides, interventionists, whatever. I think it would also help if we had a small group curriculum or an interventionist curriculum, like something like Seeing Stars, whatever, that can help with letters and sounds, sight words, phonemic segmentation, fluency, like all those types of things to help the students make these goals. And then we could use iPads, which we have iPads. Most schools do have them, or Chromebooks or something like that, so we can utilize Khan Academy or Khan Academy Kids to like just give the students a break with having like a one-on-one or like a face-to-face meeting. They can play like fun learning games, and all those types of apps keep track of their progress, so then we can see what skills they're struggling with, what they need help with, what goals they're reaching, what they're doing well on that we can like move on from, things like that, that can be used for push-ins and pull-outs, also for small groups. So that's what I'm thinking, and that's how I'm feeling. So yeah, thanks for listening.